Yo, Astro World, welcome back to another Hardwood and AstroTurf talk show. Peoples, we got a banger for you today. F1 just finished for the season, for the 2022 season, and we got a lot to talk about. Also, the FIFA World Cup started in Qatar today as well. We had the game opener, Qatar versus Ecuador. We got some exciting points to make on that. Hopefully, you guys can join us as well in the comment section and share your views. Then we got some NBA to talk about, some drama in the Brooklyn Nets still, and some exciting news for Brooklyn as well. So we can get into that as soon as possible. But first, people, we got a special guest to introduce to you guys. My boy Keon. Yo, happy to have you on
Yeah,
the stream.
yeah,
Um,
guys, thanks for having me. Excited to speak about these sports that are happening.
Yeah, man.
yeah, for sure, man. Excited to talk about football. Finally, we get somebody that would really, dig in the football world, and we could have some good discussions. Sorry, on football. FIFA World
Yep,
Cup
yep.
come up, so we got a lot to do within the next 4 weeks or so to bring these people some bangers. So looking forward to that. But as always, people, if you can follow us on Instagram at Hastro Bros, we definitely appreciate that. Also share some of the videos with your friends, share the stream with your friends. If you're on, be active in the comment sections. We welcome that as well. But before we start, as always, we got to get an idea of how the Hastro Bros are doing. So, Rayvon, we start with you, my brother. How's life?
Life's good, boy. Just working hard. Man got me here
Yeah.
working hard today, all day, all week. We got some big things coming in store, so looking forward to everybody that's tuned into the stream just to keep an eye out. We can do a whole World Cup coverage this time off. Starting with Keon here. Some of his friends coming in to talk a lot of football coming up this weekend for the next 4 weeks of the World Cup series. So if you're into football and you're into World Cup football, stay tuned, stay locked because the Hasher Bros got some good stuff coming in for you.
Plug into all people. I'm telling you, Keon, what's the vibe,
Yes,
man?
sir.
How's life
Yes,
for you?
sir. But just school. Gotta get through it. Gotta get through it.
Yeah, I
Understood,
know the
man.
struggle,
Yeah,
bro.
we all know
I,
these struggles, boy.
Yeah,
I, I just
yeah,
come out of it, and trust me, the grass is green on the other side. So don't worry about it. Just,
It's
just dig in
yeah,
for now, because it won't be too long
yeah,
until you finish.
yep.
So
just the other day, just today, I was talking to one of my friends, and it was like, yo, like man, he was just doing midterms, and he was like, oh, finals next 2 weeks. I like, shh, I remember them days, boy. You know them
yeah,
midterms, and you're
boy.
going straight into another side of exams. It's
Yeah, yeah.
absolute torture, boy.
Good, good
Yeah,
thing for me. I really had in the midterms and it was like UV,
Oh, well, you blessed then.
so
You
yeah,
blessed.
just straight assignments and finals.
You
So
you blessed it all.
telling me, boy.
yeah,
I wish I had it like that. But we can dive right into it, peoples. We don't want to stick up too long because we got a lot to cover. Let me dive into the World Cup, fellas. So today was the World Cup opener between hosting team Qatar and Ecuador. Some exciting football to start off the whole competition. Disappointing for Qatar as the host to actually lose the first game by the margin that they lost by as well. Um, what are your thoughts on the game overall, Keon?
um, his first half was a bit entertaining. Second half, it fall off a bit. I feel like Ecuador could have capitalized on the how poor Qatar was, but they
Yeah,
didn't. And I feel like it's this knockout tournament got to capitalize on the opportunities, especially with the group that they are in, with Senegal and the Dutch probably going to capitalize on Qatar if they don't fix up. So
Yeah,
I think we'll tell
exactly,
how to come in.
exactly. In these knockout competitions, goal difference tend to matter coming down to the final
yeah, boy.
stages with
In the
deciding who
groups, yeah.
teams are going to get in. So I agree, man. They should have capitalized. I mean, they had a disallowed goal. What are your thoughts about that with this new technology?
That was
Like,
folly. I even let you talk about it. That was absolute folly. And for the time I see it, I tell myself, you know, the
a
refs got a
fingernail.
little something. The refs got to get a little
Yeah,
something from the
yeah,
side,
yeah,
right? Because there's
yeah,
no way that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
Tell
that.
myself
There's
so
no way
too.
that that was
Tell myself
offside.
so too.
No way that that was offside. But
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
give the home side a chance. And just a little
yeah.
stat on what has to say. So this is Qatar's first experience at the World Cup, and they're the first team that ever host the World Cup to lose the first game of the World Cup.
But it
So,
was expected. I
but
mean,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Qatar. You
It's
know what I
Qatar.
mean?
I tell my mother today that I never even hear about Qatar as a football team,
I,
so I don't know where this
I
is
never
going.
lot expected it. I never lot expected it
Yeah,
because
that's
a lot of people was speaking about kind of putting them on the pedestal that they was putting Turkey in the Euros last year. So I never
oh,
lot expected it. So
oh, man, no
So
man.
I,
especially with the group that was in and
I
the team
guess
that they
they
was
had the
together.
jitters
So
then.
something.
But funny enough, I hear the commentator was saying that a lot for the Qatar captain, that he looks nervous and all sorts
Mhm.
of things like that. So maybe that there may be some truth to that. But for me looking at the game, they didn't really have they didn't really have it going. Ecuador looked like the better team far and beyond. Truthfully speaking, little more experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even though there were a team made up of majority 99% of the players were never played in the World Cup before. The commentator would have put out that stat on the would have been crossed that stat during the game. Only said Valencia man of the match. Valencia would have been the only person that would have played on the World Cup on the Ecuador team. But they
Mhm.
look really good today. Truthfully.
Yeah, man.
Well, they
Yeah,
look really
man. They
good
got
against
some.
Qatar.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Go ahead,
but
Keon.
you see, they got some good players. They got Caicedo in the middle, and then Valencia.
Hmm.
Show a classic, clear classic game today. Um, I didn't expect it to be honest. I look at the line and I was like, he still play football, and that was the first game there. So you know, then they got Estupinian on the as a wing back. So they got some good players, some good talent.
But if
I
there's
feel
any
like
time if there's any time that a player you can see a player rise from the ashes is for World Cup. Anything for your country, boy. Anything for your country.
Yeah,
We'll continue.
that's true. But
Mhm.
let me talk quick about that offside though, because I know like back then it wouldn't have been offside. It would have been a beautiful goal back
Mhm.
then. But we got all this technology now that I feel taken away from the moment. You know what I mean? Especially when guys off by a fingernail or like a arm. Like that's unheard of with the naked eye, right? And I think that a lot of good goals could be discounted because of this new technology. Granted that you want to be as fair as possible, then you now got to question, well, what are the refs there for if their decisions are going to be questioned every single time just for the fact to be fair, to the teams to give them a fighting chance for these goals. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like as a football fan, I get so accustomed to it that when it happened, it just happened, and it's got on with it. So you know, but today it was a bit confusing because when I first saw it, I was like, how could the goal possibly be offside, right? But
Mhm.
then he was a foot behind the keeper and he didn't interfere with the play, so I really didn't understand it. But I just get to the point where I got on with it. So that really
Yeah, or have you got any thoughts on that, or are you good?
Um, not much thoughts. I like the point that you make about what's the point of the referees though. If they're going to
Yeah.
be leaning so heavily on the technology, and I guess we could go in a bigger, deeper discussion about how technology is taking over the world from that point.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's something that is going to be inevitable, and as Keon said, it's something that we probably just got to get on and move on with. Like, I don't think it's something that we can avoid at this point, and people can find
hmm
a lot when we looking at it from a business perspective, people can try to find the ways to make it as affordable as possible, and make maximum profit. And introducing this technology can do that, mitigating human error, get allow
hmm
for, as you say, more fair assessment of these situations. Even though in that specific case, that was not fair. But anyway, um, but it's just a prime example of how excluding the human eye could kind of, take away from the beauty of something and make it a little bit
yeah.
more
exactly.
robotic or a little bit more static, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, one thing that made beating this worker is offside. That's one thing that made beating this worker is offside.
It's true.
Everything I get.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, we've discussed the teams on the whole and how they perform. We know Qatar was poor in defense and offense. Like they had a couple of chances that looked promising, but it was few in between. It wasn't a lot.
yeah,
But talking about Ener Valencia and his goals, like the the header goal, that was like mint. That was on
It's
point.
top class.
Top,
Composure.
more than top class, bro. Defined, like I don't know. This guy net got some type of radar on it because there's no way you
Yeah.
could get any closer than that, unless it hit the post and go in. That's understandable, but to find that corner from that angle, it's not super difficult, but you still got to be very precise. What are your thoughts on that goal?
Real strikers play from NFL today. Real strikers play. I got football like my club like you don't age I can't really do that anymore. So I gotta appreciate it. Or I can watch it.
Fair enough. Fair
If
That's
you
enough.
very
can if you
true.
can't tell it's a Man United fan.
Uh, that shot's fired at a particular player, but I ain't gonna mention any names.
No names need to be said.
Yeah, no names, no names. Any thoughts, Ravon? You were you able to see that goal?
Funny enough, I was there for it. And, no, I was in. I was going for something, and I missed the goal in real time. I also missed the replay, so I didn't really get to see it.
Yeah,
But I saw a little glimpse of him heading the ball, um, just top class accuracy. I would have liked to see it live in the moment. Probably would have been a little bit
yeah.
more exciting. But
The setup on everything is
yeah,
just complete. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
the whole package. But yeah, it was a mint one.
and you gotta
Nice
get him.
crossing,
And you gotta give him props for saying compose for the penalty. Uh,
Yeah.
Great score.
easy as
Easy.
they come,
Yep.
buddy. Easy like a Sunday morning.
Yep.
Super easy, man. So that was the first match. Ecuador ended up winning 2-0 against Qatar. But within this group, I heard you mention this group, Keon. Just give us some insight as to your thoughts on this group and how this group would perform throughout the competition.
Right now I got the Dutch. I don't know how far they'll go with tournament because not too sure how they're gonna compete as a team. They went to the Euro. They went to the Euros. Can't remember, but they're not weren't competing at a high level recently. So as in the group, I think they'll still win the group, and then I think second will be down to Senegal and Ecuador, depending on how Qatar play the rest of the matches. If they play like that, it's wraps. But if them fits a little bit and they get a couple draws, win, well then the group can change drastically.
Yeah.
So I think I think I think the group are on for.
Okay.
Yeah. You got any predictions, Rayvon, on how you think this group is going
Man,
to end up?
boy, I ain't got. Truthfully, no. Truthfully, if I being honest, straight out, but no, man. But the Dutch have been usually competent team when it comes to international play. I would presume that they would, carry on that legacy. Man, like I can't remember the man name. Robin. What do you want?
Robin van der Persie?
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Van Persie, sorry.
Yeah. So I would presume that they could carry on that legacy and be victors in this specific group.
Robin was a
Senegal,
different player, but
yeah, boy, different from a different level, boy.
he was a
Uh,
different animal.
Senegal, I don't know. They're missing a player, right? They're missing a player that
Yeah,
was-
money.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big loss for them. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
not know.
Money injured or
Yeah.
Mhm.
This side still got a lot of quality in it though.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
the
for sure.
Smithers and the dual structures. So we'll see how it unfolds.
but Mane would have
I
been
think
a
the
big
game.
boost for them.
Yeah. We felt Man United in the game between Ecuador and Senegal is going to be very interesting.
Mhm.
Very
So
Nice.
interesting.
I guess we will see it all unfold in the next
Yeah,
couple
that's
of
definitely
weeks.
one to watch out
Yeah.
for. Switching gears, people. Talking about gears, we can get right into F1. Some very interesting things took place today in today's race, and then we had all the drama about the retirement for Sebastian Vettel. Alonso is leaving Alpine, however you want to call it. Um, did Matt's actions in Brazil cause Red Bull, the 1-2 in the constructors championship for the driver standings? All these things came into question and into play today. So we can talk about F1 a little bit, people, but just let's give props to Max Verstappen. Unbelievable season. an unbelievable season. Like he's racing and race out, he's been untouchable. Phenomenal driver. The only thing that has caused him problems were mechanical failures throughout the season. If everything was going good, Max was winning for the most part. So I don't know your guys' thoughts about Max Verstappen and this season at all.
Keanu, he got sent.
Let me
It's
know.
just
Yeah.
to see.
Easy. Easy. I got answer. I got no idea. Let's put another asterisk by this title. Let's put another asterisk by it.
Ah,
Why? Thoughts?
Your Red Bull budget going to be budget. That's me. That's the biggest talking point that come out this season as it relates to Red Bull. So
But that was last
I
year,
say
right?
that's why I say it, the budget. So you know,
But that was last year's drama. That was like a continuation from what happened
mhm.
last year and their efforts to beat Mercedes. Yes, I will put an
Mhm.
asterisk on the 2021 season for sure. Like, it's still a lot of talks, a lot of debates, a lot of things went into that whole thing even after Max had won. But you can't go back and take it from the man's hands, right? That is already stoned and etched in history's books. He got it. This time around, he dominated the field. Red Bull came out strong. Mercedes was a little bit slow to get their car up to par, like with the other teams. Ferrari started strong. Go ahead. Yeah, you got something?
I got the car going. I want to see ever again in my life.
ah, sporty
But yeah,
mind.
no, I feel like Mercedes were slow to catch up to the field. Only in the last couple of races, starting from Austin, Texas, that they really started to show good pace and performance. In Brazil, they did well. They won too, but I just got to give it to Red Bull. They dominated this year, and hopefully, like I was telling everyone last stream,
Mhm.
next year is going to be very interesting with Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. As I think since Mercedes has caught up with the rest, is going to be back and back battles between both teams, and it's going to be a well mixed spot between all the drivers as well. So that's like 6 positions that we could see flipping over the next race season.
Mhm.
But any thoughts, Rayvon, about the season overall? And
Yeah, I want switch it straight into the driver standings. So
Mhm.
remember last week when we talked about Max not giving Checo the position,
Yeah,
and look what happened come today. Stop the whole team from having some sense of collective. Yeah, they still succeed. They still win the constructors championship. But when they could have had a 1-2, they could have had a 1-2 if Max didn't be a stinking dog. Because that's what he was last week. And let the man get the position. No, Leclerc come
Facts. I agree.
and squeak out the man for second place in the driver standings. That's just not a classy look for Max, even though he's been driving classy. But come on, man, he just offset the whole show. Seriously, for whatever reason that he said that the staff's supposed to know. But that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all.
nah, cool. I mean, there was some talks going around that it all stemmed from the race in Monaco this season, where Perez allegedly admitted to crashing on purpose during that final qualifying run, so that he could be on top because he had the fastest time going in,
Mhm.
and he apparently crashed on purpose so that would hinder Max from getting pole position, and maybe that was a grudge that Max held on to and never let go of until he got him back, I guess, in Brazil. Who knows? Could be something else, you know. I don't know as yet. I can't put a finger on it and say yes, this is why. But like I told you before, I want Perez to beat Max on merit.
Well, fair enough.
I never like driving orders from teams.
Mhm.
I get it, I understand it, but beat your man on merit, man. Don't be asking for positions and stuff like that. Earn it yourself. If you're not fast enough, You don't expect anybody to slow down for you. I can understand if you're
But
faster.
but
Yeah, go ahead.
but
Hmm.
Sergio Perez was told to give Max the position so that he can go and chase down. It was Alonso. He was told to give him position because that would have better him. But then he didn't catch him, so he was told to give it back, and he didn't give it back.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah,
But again,
that's a
Max
double-edged
was
sword, man.
exactly Max was faster than Perez anyway, right? He was times faster. Perez was a sitting duck for everybody else, right? He was never advancing um to the other players, well, not players, to the other drivers in that race. He was not advancing. Yes, it would have been a very kind gesture for Max to stop at your finish line and let Sergio Perez pass so that he could gain the extra points and get that one too late. Like you was talking about, right? One, like everybody ethically saying yes, do that. That's that's in that's benefiting the team in terms of big money and what's
Exactly.
not. But hey, Matt's got his reasons. We don't know for sure, but these things do happen. And look, we could sit here and talk about what should have been and what would have been better, but seems like Matt's and Sergio able to handle the media and handle the fans in terms of putting on. I would call it a show for now. Um, that they're on speaking terms or on talking terms, right?
Hmm.
So we don't know what going on in the background. So
True.
I'm gonna just put my hands in and leave it as is. But beat your man on merit is my slogan. Don't don't ask for no handouts. Um, we had a we had a nice battle between Sebastian and Alonso in this race. I don't know if you guys got to watch the race, but that was a nice battle early up in the race. Unfortunate that the strategy didn't quite work out for Aston Martin and Sebastian Vettel. It did work out for Lance Stroll, obviously, because he did the two stop. Sebastian just did the one. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that.
Not particularly. I don't know. I guess I reverse the question on you. How you feel, given that this is Vettel's last race? More on the sentimental point, less about the race point. But you know, I you could tell me your story. I don't know if it's somebody that you would have, not really look up to, but would have been somebody that you would follow, depending on how long you were watching racing. You could just tell me
Yeah,
about that.
like Vettel is a class act. Like he's a good driver. Period. Even when he was on teams that weren't performing when we expected him to, his driving skills spoke for itself. But in terms of today specifically, like I said, is a bit like when is your last, you want everything
Yeah, it
to
should be
go
perfect.
perfect,
Yeah.
right? But it doesn't always happen that
Yeah.
way. And he had a blast in qualifying. Like he qualified really well. I was actually hopeful and upful for him to be higher in the points, and I think he could have been if his strategy was a little bit better. But like he said in his closing words, if from the time they already committed to the one stop strategy, there was no turning back, and it was a pain for me to watch him being passed by everybody else too. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
I'm sure he was
Could
crying on
have,
the inside too.
yeah, bro. Like, do a better job. You know what I mean? But that's one of those things where teams tend to split up the strategy, right? You you're hoping that the one stop strategy will work. You've seen it work for other teams. Max did a one stop and he won the race, but because like there's also differences in the machine under you, like these things tend to have a different way of playing themselves out, right? So one strategy might not work for another team if it's the most successful for the other. So I will say good career overall. 4 championships in it, 53
Yeah.
wins. Wins definitely hard to come by.
Yeah.
Especially when you have other teams that are very competitive as well. So he didn't have much handouts to him. He was at Red Bull. He was a demon at Red Bull and at Ferrari. So I will say thank Seb like everybody else. Thanks,
Like a
and
sad boy.
yeah, and
like I say,
I just wish him the best in all his other endeavors. I mean, he's doing some big things, so I wish him the best there as well.
Just some housekeeping quickly. Anyone on the stream enjoying what they're seeing, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.
Yeah.
Any more from you with
But
F1?
F1, oh man, there's
Well, yeah, we got to talk a little bit about how what you think about given how the season ended and going into net season, some super early predictions based on the way things have been going coming out to end the season.
yeah. So we got Alonso going to Aston Martin. People don't sleep on Aston Martin. Aston Martin has been quietly creeping up the the driver standings and the constructor standings, I should say. They've started low down in the back with Haas, but they've genuinely just creeped up their way and got better and better and better. And we saw it in today's race. Sebastian Vettel qualifying was on top there. And then Stroll getting into the points at the end ahead of McLaren. So Aston Martin, I believe they're going to be one of the best of the rest next year. So I'm expecting a fight, like a four-way fight for the midfield teams: Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and McLaren. I'm expecting a tough fight between those teams.
Wait.
Go ahead.
You want to put Alpine in that mix?
Yeah. Alpine, Alfa Romeo,
Uh-huh.
AlphaTauri, and Aston Martin and McLaren. Yes, sorry,
Right.
I forgot about Alpine, but yes, Alpine would. But I guess, I guess. But I mean, in terms of the teams who are going to bring the fight next year, yes, it was just McLaren and Alpine that was ahead of the best of the rest. But I'm saying that Aston Martin is going to bring a little bit of fire as well.
Honestly, yeah.
Coming up. So looking forward to that. We got Daniel Ricciardo signing a deal with Red Bull, so he's going to be around the fellas, but not like an active driver. He's going to be some type of reserve or playing some type of different role, maybe in testing or what's not. But hopefully this break works out well for him. Usually when drivers break at this age, it's not easy to get back a seat. So hopefully that works out well for him.
Well, not I mean, no, you can get by a seat, but not in a prestigious environment. I would call it.
Like he got a reserve driving seat, but people don't usually get sick enough for you to fill those
Exactly.
spots. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm sure he
it's
could.
unheard of.
But wait, said I'm sure he could have gone and drive for Alpine or Williams or one of them other teams. But
Well,
I don't think he
not
would want to.
really, because Alpine already had their eyes set on Pierre Gasly, so they got two Frenchmen driving for them now, in Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. Alonso moving from Alpine to Aston Martin, I'm pretty sure his experience is going to help them to bring that team up to where they need to be in terms of the fight. So that's going to be interesting. And don't sleep on Alonso. He might be old, but he's a demon on those cars, bro. Like,
Wait, answer
he's
last week
sick.
when he get retired.
He ain't planning on returning. You could probably give him like 2 more seasons or so, but
He might surprise you and drive for 5 more.
bro, it don't matter. As long as he can
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
pace, I feel like he would always be in contention for like good positions. Like he finished 5th and stuff like that this season, so he definitely has it in him to do well and perform at the highest level. So looking forward to see Aston Martin creep up. Then we have, who else is leaving? Oh, Mick Schumacher is leaving.
Yeah.
I think it's good for him in a way to take a little break and, you know, take a step back. He might be joining Mercedes. That's a hope, but you know, these things tend to prolong for seasons and seasons. So it's good to take a break, but you want to get back in the seat as quick as possible.
Exactly.
So
Well,
hopefully things work out for him.
you said that's no
Um,
one. When you take a break, it'd be kind of hard to get back a seat. So
Yeah.
And
So
plus,
that's
too, all the talent came through. So
exactly.
exactly like is a lot of talent. We got Nick DeVries now racing for AlphaTauri, so
Yeah.
he would have made his debut in Monaco, not Monaco, in Monza,
Yeah.
and driving for Williams,
Yeah.
getting points. So that would have been a good look for AlphaTauri to say like, hey, that's enough. Come and join us. So he filled that seat, and then we have Nicole Hulkenberg coming back to race for Haas. Um, he's a good driver as well. I don't know if he'll make any big changes. I mean, any big difference to Haas team in terms of their success, but who knows? Only time will tell. Nicholas Latifi has left as well. Good riddance, I'll say on that. Go and
And
drive
no
carts,
sergeant
bro.
filling seat.
Yeah, like go and drive carts.
That's
Like
a
you
dirty
said,
man,
Keon,
dirty boy.
bro, it's a pain to
Yeah,
watch
man.
that guy, bro.
I had enough.
It's a
I had
pain.
enough. I
I
had
ain't gonna
enough.
lie. Like every single weekend, there's some issue.
Mhm.
But Alex Albon, I always tell people, do not sleep on Alex
You
Albon.
that's what you'd
This
be singing
man
that in everybody's
makes,
ear.
bro, that is my song, bro. That's the chorus to my F1 song. Do not sleep on Alex. Like he's getting the best out of that Williams every single weekend. The best that he could get out of it. Latifi's showing glimpse of hope for the team, but I good riddance, honestly, man. Like there's no way a guy could be sitting out of an F1 seat, right? Come in, score points at one of the biggest races of the season in Monza, and you can't get a few points. You know what I mean? Is ridiculous. So I say, if like go race IndyCar or something,
else.
go do something else. But F1, you need to be better than that as a driver. So a lot to talk about for the season. We would definitely be, keeping abreast of the news and stuff and keeping you guys in tune with what's going on. But we got a local star as well. We only got like a few seconds to talk about him, but your boy Zane Maloney made his debut in F2, which is the little brother to F1, and he didn't come last, so that's a good sign. He's definitely showing that he's capable of getting to the top, and I hope he keeps his head down, focus, and make your country boys proud. That's for sure. So with that, I'm gonna leave it there, and we will come back. Thanks, Keon, for joining us. Hope to see you in the upcoming streams to talk about some football, and we definitely have some good banter with you guys as we cover the FIFA season.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
No
No
problem.
problem, bro.
All right, have a good one.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yep. So we take a break now, peoples, and we'll be back. Welcome back, Astro family. We talking about NBA peoples. We in here to talk about some NBA, and I hope you guys are ready because we got some riveting things to talk about.
It's
Some
always drama.
some drama in the Nets squad again. This time is not who you think it is, but we can get into it. We can get into it. Right, Vaughn? You want to start us off on this drama?
So there's never a day without drama in the NBA. Every week that you think, oh, this week might be a quiet week. There's always somebody that gotta come and make some ignorant comment, do some stupid thing, or you know, just find a way in the headlines, whether it be NBA wise or worldwide news. So the Nets for the past couple of weeks been dealing with the whole Kyrie's anti-Semitism issue. I don't know if that's a word I just created. I think you guys know what
Yeah,
I mean.
anti-Semitic
Yeah,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, but coming from that, no. KD went and did an interview with Chris Hine, I think it is. Chris Hine from Bleacher Report, a fairly popular NBA reporter. And, you know, he was talking about him requesting the trade and why he would have done it, not feeling confident in the organization and the people behind the organization, etc., etc. And
Mhm.
this eventually led up to the fire, well, Steve Nash getting fired, which was part of his initial request um, to stay, which is Steve Nash getting fired and the general manager, no, president of basketball operations for the Nets, also getting fired was his criteria to stay. As we all know, that didn't happen in that manner, but Steve Nash still ended up getting fired. The president of basketball operations is still there at the moment, but no, he was just going through that with Chris Hine, and then ended up making a comment speaking about essentially the team that he has right now. Uh, and I quote, "This is KD. Look at our starting lineup: Edmund Summer, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton, and me. It's no disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? You expect us to win because I'm out there. Like, Kitty, come on, man. Come on. I don't think you need PR training to know, like, you don't gotta
You
say that
don't do
stuff.
that.
And,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
respect KD because he's generally speak his mind. But there's always a time and a place.
Yeah.
I don't think that this has an effect on his teammates as much as people do. But it's just the perception of it. Essentially coming to say that, like, come on, man, you gotta do better than that. You know the team already in a fragile situation, and
Hmm.
people are going to take that that call and run with it. Although even if your teammates don't really feel a way about it, like, there's going to be additional pressure than what has already been created by Kyrie Irving on the team now because of I would say some careless comments on your part. Like, you gotta be a little bit more mindful. And
Yeah.
then right after that was released, you know who won the game for them the next night? Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal. The same scrubs. I don't think he called them scrubs, but essentially
Yeah.
alluding that
Yeah.
they're lesser
Yeah.
inferior players to some extent.
Yeah.
The same Royce O'Neal that you mentioned, that I guess you're kind of showing some lack of confidence in your ability to win with these guys, came out and put his heart out, put his soul on the line to win that game. And you know, like, it looks stupid on KD now, given that was the case. Saying all
Hmm.
that, giving all that negative attention to the team because of the comments that he made. And I don't know, I just think that this will always continue to be in the Brooklyn Nets stratosphere when it comes to media because of these two. I don't even know what's the word to describe them.
Polarizing.
Yeah, polarizing personalities that are KD and Kyrie Irving. And until they leave that place, this team will have to deal with it season in and season out.
Hmm. I Do you think that this would have an effect on how the team plays generally?
Um,
Would
uh,
it amp them up, or would it,
Genuinely not
con-
really, because again, right after those things came out, the same Royce O'Neal that he name dropped in his interview came out and played his heart out, and has been playing his heart out for that team. Royce O'Neal is not known as a big offensive threat or anything, but from the time that he's joined the Brooklyn Nets, due to their lack of availability from Kyrie and all their injured players, Steph Curry,
Hmm.
Joe Harris, T.J. Warren, he's had to be one of their staples on offense. Sadly to say, because he's not someone that you would want. He was like the fifth guy on the Jazz when he was on the Jazz, like the fifth
Right.
best player on the Jazz. Like, but he's been stepping up and doing what he can. I'm pretty sure he had a triple double in that same game that he had the buzzer beater in, and no, I don't really feel because it could have affected him in that game, and he could say, "Well, I'm not going to give it that much of effort." But they still did. They still were celebrating on the sideline. It didn't hit him like that. Maybe in the back, in the behind the scenes, there may be some
Yeah.
animosity towards Katie for speaking those words. But
Right.
overall, I think that the team is going to be fine for the most part. But again, it's just creating situations that could be taken advantage of by the media, and Kyrie and KD are professionals at doing that, which has a
Yeah.
negative impact on the team, whether it end up being
But
team chemistry or just unnecessary attention.
maybe the words weren't from a place of malice, but just on a like ability roster type
Hmm.
situation where you say, okay, look, these are the players we have.
Hmm.
The results that we're getting are this.
Hmm.
Like, are you expecting something greater from this list of players against these other teams?
Yeah.
Maybe it could be that, but because I guess tone and everything else is a factor as well.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
we could always see it as a, I don't owe your team like that, which I get.
yeah.
Like, is the media.
Hmm.
You tend to not want to give the media anything to run
Yeah.
with so that they could stretch it and blow it
Yeah,
up
the media
into
to stay.
something that it really
Yeah,
isn't.
the media to stay a stone and turn it into a bullet. And create a
Yeah,
gun and put the bullets in it. Like
yeah,
you can't feed in ammunition like that. Even if it's a blade of
exactly.
grass, they would turn a blade of grass to something
Yeah,
magnificent, more than what it needs to be. And
right.
that's for me, just understanding the situation in it. That's the only problem I have with it. He did say he don't mean any disrespect. I understand him trying to be real about the situation and what's not, but I just feel like
Right.
timing is such a
Time, yeah. Hmm.
a big component of what you say and when you say it. You can say that
Yeah,
when the season done. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Like, even if these players don't anything, you can say that after the season. But not knowing this time where you're trying to, find some camaraderie and chemistry given the poor start that y'all have for the season, and with the
Correct.
whole Kyrie situation that already bringing a lot of attention to the team.
Right. Fair point. Fair point. But I still think, like yeah, it don't make it don't really make no sense seeing what I'm about to say because it's basically a repeat.
No problem.
And like as an individual, like a thinking individual, like
Mhm.
you would try to parse these things, but generally anything that the media put out, people tend to run with and not look into the situation in depth.
Yeah.
So yeah, your point is so much more valid
Hmm.
than me thinking about it a little bit deeper. But sticking with the Nets, we got big news for them, I guess.
I
That
guess.
yeah, I guess that Kyrie's coming back. It's good to see him back on the court and playing, but this on and off type deal with Kyrie as it pertains to basketball is a big situation for the Nets because every time he's not playing, they gotta find a way to play without him, and then when he comes back, then they gotta switch up again to play with him,
Hmm.
and is breaking up the chemistry a lot. Is not allowing for the team to get into a rhythm. I will say. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, I generally don't got much thoughts on it because it is. Well, I mean, it's not his fault that he needed to be. Well, yes, it is his fault, but it's not that he didn't want to play. But because of the circumstances or the situation that he had, he couldn't play because of the suspension. But
Right.
um, yes, it's just setting back the team chemistry and everything. Again, I don't want to get too much into this whole Kyrie thing again because a little bit of me feel like it's a little bit overblown, and what he was required to do seemed like a whole lot, truthfully.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, as it relates to basketball, is going to create a kind of a roadblock in the way of building that chemistry that they so need to
Hmm.
propel them into the position where everybody expects them to be, which is at the top of the at the top of the league in the East
Yeah.
especially. But again, not much to say about that. I think I just kind of tired about talking about Kyrie and his whole debacles. I would just hope that he comes and play. I would like him to drop 60 tonight because again, I just feel like the whole requirement for what he had to do to get back on the floor was
Yeah.
quite overblown.
10 points for each requirement.
Yeah, correct. So I that's
Yeah.
that's all I'm looking forward to right now. Truthfully, I don't want to get too much into the whole chemistry. I will let him come play and
Yeah.
just play basketball,
Same,
Kyrie.
same, same here, bro. Like, I just want to see Brooklyn Nets do well because I know with the lineup that they have, they
It
could
could be
develop
important,
into a
yeah.
team that, yeah, that could do really well and
Hmm.
cause some other teams some trouble. They
Hmm.
just need that time together
Hmm.
without any hindrances. But the last set of drama that we got to talk about,
Yeah,
a little incident,
great. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think, nothing to really shout about or
Hmm.
to break your neck on, but Giannis had this little altercation after the Sixers game.
Yeah.
You want to
Um,
run through that
yeah,
and
just a
like
quick
just
one,
explain it.
nothing too long. I don't know if the guys on the stream have seen it, or gals on the stream have seen it. Just a
Hmm.
little. So Giannis was essentially trying to get in some practice sessions on the Sixers home court. Um, Obviously, in that process, the game was already finished, and the team, I guess the team staff was trying to, like kind of clear out the court and what's not. Guy was coming to take down the nets, and Giannis was trying to shoot free throws. Primarily because Giannis went 4 of 15 in that game from the free throw line, which is absolutely
Yeah,
horrendous.
man
So
was trying to put in some work.
yeah, the worker that Giannis is, wherever it is, whatever he has to do, he can try to make himself better, which is one of the things that you love
Right.
about Giannis as a person and as a player. Um, but I guess it went a little bit overboard because first of all, I'd never seen anyone for the opposing team staying back to shoot to get shots on the opposing team's home court. Like genuinely never seen that before. So I a little bit um curious as to what was going through Giannis' head in that regard. Like he didn't even stop
It's
to think that
punishment.
at all,
It,
at all.
it's self punishment. Is like you playing scrimmage, I guess, and you shoot about 5 air balls, and you're like, push
Yeah,
ups for me,
yeah,
because So I feel like that's the kind of space he was in,
yeah. Hmm.
like to punish himself for not showing up when he was supposed to.
Hmm.
But yeah, like you say, that's unheard of.
Yeah, but it was not a good look on Giannis' part because in the whole altercation, they have video footage of him kind of telling the moving. The guy was coming with the ladder to take down the net. He keeps moving the ladder to the point that the ladder fell. And
Mhm.
obviously that's a bad look. If the ladder didn't fall, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be as blown out of proportion. But you can be like, oh my god, Giannis just threw threw the ladder across the court, and the guy's just trying to do
Yeah.
his job. Oh my god. But that happened. I personally feel as though he could have just not be shooting the free throws. I understand why he wanted to do it, but I just
Mhm.
never seen any person from the opposing team stay on the opposing team's home court and practice. Like, go
Right.
find a gym. I'm pretty sure you could get access to the gym to gain some of the like practices, but I personally think he should have just let the man do his job and go home.
Go
Work on
home.
your shot your own time. Be honest, truthfully.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh, fake humble. Giannis is so fake humble." I don't think this takes away from all the Giannis's qualities as a person. It's been one instance in how long Giannis has been in the league, 8+
You know
years.
how people are when things come
Exactly,
out in the media, bro.
exactly.
Everything gets blown up and pushed out. So yeah, I don't think he meant anything, but he was probably in that headspace. Was like, this is so poor, Giannis. Come on, Giannis. And then he was like, look, give me some free throws, Giannis. Like just coaching himself into, like, I guess punishing himself, like I said before, to make sure that he's on top of his game the next time. Basically, I can't hear you. You're on mute, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
is
Sorry.
yeah. There we go. Like it. So yeah, is just one of those things, man. And you can never control the internet, right?
Hmm.
It's, yeah. People always say and do
do
things to
whatever.
perpetuate the situation to where
Uh,
it doesn't need to be. But Boston Celtics looking amazing so far. I
yes,
like that
man.
squad.
So we can dive into a little bit of the Celtics. I don't find that there's been a lot of buzz media wise about the Celtics performing the way that they have been. Uh,
Because it's probably was expected, right?
yeah, I guess yeah, because coming off the finals last year, sorry, playing at a high level, going into the playoffs and everything like that. They just come out on fire. Like I don't know, boy. This
They
offense
want it.
is absolutely potent. All these Celtics games that I watch, I just say no there asking myself, they can hit every three? Like, come on, man. Come on.
Even when the blame folded, even when the man hand in the
Boy,
face,
boy,
trees, man.
they just been sniping. So right now, the Celtics are shooting 40% of their shots from the 3 point line. 40% of 100%, yeah, well, 40%. Um,
Yeah.
and making 39% of their trees. Like that is insane. That's
Yo,
third
that's
best
wild.
in the league. Third best in the
Yeah.
league. The only two teams above them, I think, may be the Nuggets. I ain't sure who else would be on top in percentage.
And
But
Steph Curry by
well,
himself.
yeah, Steph Curry by himself because he on another level. We gotta
Yeah.
talk about him coming up soon. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but I just don't get it. And the thing about it is, you would think that their star players are hitting good from three. Jason Tatum is shooting 35% from three. Jalen Brown is shooting 33% from three. Marcus Smart is shooting 29% from three. So right now, their
Mhm.
role players are actually just shooting the lights of the basketball, and
Yeah.
it is a stretch that has, to me, been unheard of. So they got four players shooting 45% or higher from three
Hmm.
on three or more attempts per game. 45% from three from four players. That is
That's
absolute
crazy.
madness. And literally,
Yes, that's unstoppable.
this is the main thing that's driving the offense. Like
Yeah.
nothing else. Just they are absolutely absurd at making shots. No lie about it. No lie
Yeah.
about
Just
it. And,
just ditch it out to whoever's free.
yep,
We gonna make it. Don't worry about it.
yep. And what I well, let me not say nothing else because the ball movement has been, I can say, exceptional. Most of their shots have been catch and shoot shots. So not a lot of like, oh, let me take it, let me ISO Jason Tatum, ISO Jalen Brown, ISO. Kind of reminiscent of what we were seeing a bit in the finals, in the final few games when they were playing against the Warriors.
Right.
And Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown turning over the ball every second. You're not seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of quick movement of the ball, getting to open spots. Any highlights that you see from the Celtics, I'm pretty sure you can see a couple guys whipping it around the perimeter to their final opening. They're being very surgical with the offense and making sure they get as wide open looks as possible. And
Yeah.
that has been their MO, and they're destroying teams night in and night out. They've only got 3 losses on the season, 13 wins, and they're on an eight game winning streak.
Yeah.
I I don't know
And then
what's
for that Sun
yeah,
streak
yeah
from last
from last
season.
season. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to slow them down. I think at some point they will hit a rough shooting patch. I don't know when it will be because I feel like this 3 point shooting is absolutely unsustainable. And we could also say we could also look at it this way. I just named your top three players shooting pretty abysmally from the 3 point line. I could give the exception to Jason Tatum because he takes almost 10 threes a game. So shooting
Hmm.
35% is pretty decent given the volume. The only boy that would be like shooting north of 36% is Steph Curry on 12 attempts a game or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. He on a different level as we know.
Hmm.
But Jason Tatum can only get better shooting the three. Marcus Smart can only get better. Well, I got some reservations there. And Jalen Brown can
Yeah.
only get better shooting the three from there. So even if it's a case where the role players fall off on their 3 point shooting, I think that the star players may be in the works of finding their groove on the 3 point end and could
Yeah.
be able to help sustain it to a certain extent. But I think it's going to drop off as we go on further down in the middle of the
Yeah.
season. And it's interesting to see. Well, it will be interesting to see how they pivot and generate points elsewhere. Another
Hmm.
area on the court they're doing well in is on free throws. Doing great with the shooting like one of the second best free throw percentage in the league. They're not getting there as much, but maybe
Hmm.
when the trees aren't falling, maybe they may resort to driving a little bit more, getting some more falls and getting to the lane and catching them in there. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that's my big thing. And Jason Tatum, of course, and Jalen Brown. hands down best duo in the league. Yes, I said it. I don't think
Yep.
anybody. I don't even think you could think about any other two other players that could contest for that. Maybe Jamorant, Desmond Bean. I can't think about two players off the top of my
Uh,
head that could rival them right
Not
now.
really. I don't think Desmond Bain and Ja is a duo per se, because I feel like that team Grizzlies still share the ball quite a bit in between those two players. So I wouldn't say that. Like I wouldn't put them in a duo box per se.
But I mean, all right, well, let me just look at the two best players on any given team. I would say like Jamorant and
Mhm,
Desmond Bean have been undoubtedly the two best players on their team, both averaging above 23 points a game for the
mhm.
season so far. So it is. I don't think there are many teams that have two players averaging above 27 points per game. Well, 23 or 24 and above points per game on the season, truthfully. And
Right.
Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum are the best of that lot, in my opinion. If anybody else in the comments or watching the stream right now could think of anyone else that could have rivaled Jason and Jalen as best doing the league right now, just hit the line there, hit my line,
Yeah.
and let me know what you're thinking. Um, but yeah, and Jason Tatum, truthfully, is on an MVP, playing at MVP level. Uh, NBA would have
Right.
put out their MVP rankings last Friday that just passed. He's
Mhm.
currently ranking second on their rankings. Truthfully, given the record and the offensive output, the improvement in terms of facilitating, there's some maturity that I see him from his game. Understanding when he
Yeah.
doesn't have his shot going, trying to get his teammates involved. Uh, I
Who's
feel like
who's
he should
who's
be on top.
number one in
I think you can make a guess. But give me your best guess of who you think would be number one.
Steph?
Somebody, no.
Um. Okay,
Somebody
Giannis then.
that nope.
No. Jeez. Well, who playing out them boy right now? KD? No. Like it can't be.
Man, Luka Magic,
Look.
Luka Magic. Luka averaging like
Look.
35, 11, and 9. Wait, no, 30. No, sorry, 35, 9, and 8. 9 rebounds, 8 assists.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's up there
absurd.
for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely absurd. So with those numbers, I get it.
He
But
needs some help, man.
man, I feel like he enjoys playing the style of basketball that they play, but I don't want to get too much off in a tangent on Luca. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, Jason Tatum has took that leap
I call
that
all the wrong names, boy.
Jason Tatum has took that leap that we would have expected him to take coming off of that finals run.
Mhm.
And I'm then sprinkling some on top, truthfully. So I think I predicted last season. I don't think we would have had it on the show, or I would have said it on the show. And maybe I did, but I just had a
Mhm.
strong feeling he was about the average 30 this year, given how we would have seen him perform the second half of the season and into the playoffs. Truthfully, uh,
Yeah.
development of his game and Jalen Brown too. Can't leave with Jalen Brown in the
Man,
conversation.
if they stay together, which I think they should,
Hmm.
they're gonna do some big things.
Yeah, you had a man that
If
was on
not
this stream here.
individually, as a duo.
Yeah, you had a man that was on this stream here that laugh at me when they talk about that was trying to downplay the Celtics. I don't know if we can see anytime soon, man. Yeah, Hakeem laughing at me because they saying that the Celtics can get back to the finals sometime. And right now, the way that these guys
Yeah, he's
play,
like, when? Not
wait,
next year.
no, that's there. Watch it,
Not next
watch
year.
it and
Not next
see,
year.
watch it
You
and
talk
see.
about you talk about Lakers getting improved.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on,
But
man.
be careful you
Hakeem,
too
wherever you're
much
at,
shots at him, man.
we miss you,
Be
man.
careful you too much shots just
Yeah,
because
you
he
got your
ain't
hand
here,
here,
right?
right? Yeah,
We,
yeah.
yeah, we got to wait till he comes so he can
Yeah,
soak in all
yeah.
these
We
bullets.
waiting for you to come back, Hakeem, man. Come true.
Yeah,
Um,
land, don't stick up.
but yeah, man. They got I mean early prediction, but they got another shot at it this year. Given how these guys
Yeah.
have been looking so far for the season, my only concern going forward in the season is when the shots aren't falling. What is really going to happen? And they're going to need to lead on their defense a little bit more. And they rank 14th in defensive rating right now, and which is not a big deal because their offense have been absolutely historic. Um,
Right.
but again, when the shots are not dropping, what are you going to do? Robert Williams is going to be out for a little while. They're missing that big rim protector. So
Mhm.
it's going to be intriguing to see how they adjust when the offense isn't hitting on all cylinders as it is now.
Good points, man. Like I think I'm just gonna wait to see who will be the first team to develop that defensive strategy to take care of Boston's perimeter game. Hopefully, we could see some teams bringing them some challenges and disrupting their flow a little bit, just to make the NBA interesting from their end, so that it will make games more exciting to watch that they'll be involved in. But hey, kudos to a team, to any team that's doing really great at this point. But we can just easily slip in to our marquee matchup recap and
Yeah.
upcoming predictions for this week.
Can we just give you guys a little?
Somebody sling the predictions.
Well,
Somebody, Rayvon, lead us. Lead
well,
us there,
let
Rayvon.
me try to get these things up from the screen for everybody to see. So, going into predictions last week, this straight off the bat, we had the Cavs at the Bucks. An interesting game. Not going to dive too deep into the actual game itself. Um,
Right. You should
the,
have watched it.
yeah. The Bucks come out on top. And we had Hansel and Hakeem picking the Bucks to win successfully. Then we
Yeah.
had the Suns
I
and the
see why you don't
Jazz.
want to talk about it.
We had the Suns and the Jazz on Friday, which is
I think Hakeem Pippen, though, not to cut you off, but I feel like Hakeem Pippen.
well, I guess both for me because we tell you what we can see that right now. The
Yeah.
Suns and the Jazz on Friday, which was a close game. The Jazz continued to play exceptional basketball down the stretch
Yeah.
everywhere. Also, one of those teams that are shooting extremely well, moving the ball well, finding the open guy. Um, Suns are, of course, without CP3 and Cam Johnson, two of their key players for the season, but uh,
Yeah.
nonetheless, the Jazz came out on top in a barely squeeze it. Clutchness from Larry Markkinen. We were talking about him last week in our
Yeah.
on our Jazz overview.
The
Uh,
pocket had in a hole, but he when he slipped through the pocket. It was
we all
close.
we all picked Jazz. We all got that right. And then on Saturday we had the Raptors at the Hawks. Another close game. Went down to the wire. The Hawks squeak it
Never.
out. With it, like I was
Yo.
praying that this prediction don't go against me. The Hawks squeak it out with the final play of the game. I don't know how the Raptors decided to defend that play. We don't even go out to show you, but great play
Yeah.
design, great execution by the Hawks. Deservedly, and Trey Young came out to play. I guess he was a little bit sad given that they would have clamped him up that last
Right.
game that we covered with the Raps versus the
Yeah.
Hawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the leaderboard right now, a man here so happy, a man happy. So
Hey.
having a perfect week was Hans and Hakim with
Hey.
three out of three. So right now Hans at the top of the leaderboard by a whole 3 points, with
We
12.
up there, people. We up
With
there,
12
people.
right
Get
now.
in, Hans. Let's go.
Right now, me and
Coming for that crown, bro.
I see you, man. They ain't got a time, man. You can slip up, man. And they can be there for the overtake.
Nah, don't call it. Don't call it.
And me and Hakeem tied now for points, on 9. And yeah, man, we can continue at this thing going on, throughout the season. I know we ain't got a big one coming up when the December time comes around to kind of make up a lot of ground. So
Mhm.
uh, that would be one of the focus points for whoever is making predictions. You gotta make sure you're spotting on them ones because you could lose a lot and gain a lot on that section. So looking forward for that time
Yeah.
to come and creep my way back into the top the top of the standings there. So
Yeah. Sure. Mhm.
and next week, well this week, sorry, we're going to be we're going to be checking in to the Blazers and Bucks game tomorrow night. Uh,
Dame Lillard.
we got Blazers playing outstanding basketball, Bucks also playing outstanding basketball. I think the Blazers might be number one in the West, which is nothing anyone expected this season at all. So
Yeah.
interesting to
But
see how that game goes.
there's not a lot of competition in the West like that, really.
I
With CP3 out, and the other guy out, since not that well oiled machine. They're missing a couple of screws and bolts.
But I
Then
wanna
you got, Golden State not, backing Curry as best as they can.
I digress, man. I think the competition is high in the West. If there's any more competitive conference, it has to be the West. Like right now, the East looks a little bit lopsided with the Bucks and the and the Celtics just winning pretty much almost every game they play.
Hmm.
So like there's
Well,
there's a small difference between the standings in the West. Truthfully, like the difference between the difference between the fourth. I can tell you right now. The
yeah,
difference between the fourth and the yeah, there we go. The fourth and the ninth seed is 2 games. 2 games in the last column. Like that's crazy. Actually, yeah, like even all the yeah, that's the
I guess
difference.
as a conference,
Mm.
it is more competitive. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's not shocking to see somebody else at the top. Is what I really meant
yeah,
to
right, yeah, right.
emphasize.
It's an
Like,
open
it's
conference.
not
Anything can happen right now.
right,
Yeah, we don't
right,
have any
correct.
dominant
So,
team surging at the moment. Well, not surging, but
mhm,
any team that has just taken well, besides the Jazz, I would say, which is an
yeah,
unexpected team, but has taken
exactly.
taken the conference and been in control.
Right. So, yeah, I kind of misspoke there, and my point was missed. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think Trailblazers will have enough for the Bucks though. So I can make my prediction early and go with Bucks.
Ain't that easy. I can go
And
with Butts
Giannis put
too.
in that work from before. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I go
like,
with Bunts. I don't know who they can have to really stop me honest if he decides to take over the game.
yeah,
Truthfully,
Dame gonna go crazy.
yeah, them gotta be
Like
hitting.
Dame, yeah, Dame gonna hit like
Yeah,
60 points and gets I guess some backup help on the defensive side. But
yeah.
when you see Giannis coming through, watch out. His points.
Mavs at Celtics.
Ah,
This
boy.
one's a tough one.
I don't think this one is a tough one.
No, I think it's tough because these are two teams that play a similar style in a sense of they take a lot of threes, they do a lot of drive and kick game, take a lot of open threes, move it around the perimeter.
I don't think this is
Uh,
a tough one because even though even though is Luca versus the others,
mhm.
I think that Celtics got a lot more firepower
Yeah,
than
yeah,
Mavs right now.
yeah.
I think
I lean
too,
in Celtics
but the
myself, but I just
yeah,
got a gut feeling that Luca and the Mavs might shake up something in this specific game.
yeah, go ahead, choose choose Mavs. Your boy has sticking with the Celtics because I know with the form that Celtics is in, like it doesn't make sense to go against a team while they're in form. That's just my
Yeah, yeah,
philosophy.
yeah. I think
It,
that's fair.
like I'll have to bet on them and then they lose and start losing form for me
Hmm.
to go against them to say, all right, look, this is something that's happening for me to change my. But nah, not when the team ain't form. There's no way. So your boy Hunt's going with the Celtics,
All right, fair
going
enough.
green.
And the next game we have on the schedule coming on Friday, Pelicans at Grizzlies. Off the rip, John Morant out, Desmond being out.
Oh my God,
I
this is
go on
no brainer.
Pelicans straight off the
This
rip.
is
But no, no,
this
no,
is a
there's
no
no
brainer,
brainer at all because the
bro.
Grizzlies is finding a way to
I
perform and John Morant ain't on the
I
court. So
can't want no boy tell me Desmond being out too. That is a no brainer because he is a scoring machine for the
yeah,
Grizzlies.
especially for a 2 point
Ja
boy.
Ja is a man that's getting the paint and create some plays and stuff. But you see when Desmond being stuck near the logo
Hmm.
or on the sidelines or next to the bench and pull up, expect it to
It's
splash.
true.
So I like if Ja was out maybe
Hmm.
because then they will have Desmond to help pull together the team a little bit more on the offensive end. But because they're losing two of their best offensive players and a good defensive player in Ja as well,
Hmm.
I think you know what the task is up for Grizzlies, but I ain't betting on them. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Pelicans for me.
All right, that easy.
Pelicans for
So
me,
I guess we all on the on the same wavelength in that regard today.
bro.
So
I think this is one of the easier ones given the situation of some of the teams. if it was a healthy Grizzlies, I probably would have gone Grizzlies to
Man,
get the dub on the Pelicans.
I
Even
guess.
though the Pelicans playing good basketball right now, I still think Grizzlies would have had a little edge on them, and it probably would have been a back and forth one to go with, to be
But
honest. So,
I just think that this Mavs and Cavs game could go either way.
what do you mean, Mavs and the
I
Celtics?
mean Mavs and Celtics. Sorry, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it might be. No, it's not. Sorry, I
man,
was
no
just
man,
I was just playing along for a little. But no, bro.
nah.
So go ahead, bro. Switch up.
I just feel like I ain't saying
You
that I
just
switching.
might
I
get
just saying
one.
like it. The Mavericks got a
It's
top 10
possible.
offense
Yeah,
and a top 10 defense. So
but same thing goes for Celtics.
well, not the Celtics got a top one offense, but a 14th ranked defense. Not saying that they can't
Mhm.
lock in defensively, but
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
yeah. I mean, you say that they're missing Williams as well.
Yeah, and they ain't gonna be getting back him back anytime soon. But I don't know. I just think that this can be more of a nail biter than you think. If the Celtics come out and prove me wrong, then fine. I offer it. But
Well, fair enough. But we gotta close on that thought. So
yes, sir.
peoples, we can leave it hanging for you guys to figure out. We'll let you know if I won't switch any predictions. But that has been it for our stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was a pleasure having Keon on earlier on to talk about some football and get his thoughts about how he feels about Max Verstappen in the F1 realm as well. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, you already know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe to the video if you haven't already. It's been Hashtag Bros. We'll see you later, family.